Hi everyone, it's Sherry Carroll with Simon Says Stamp, and I have a video for you for the beginner series using your distress markers on your stamps. I am going to start this off with my whole tin of distress markers, and I really like to keep them in this container because they need to sit flat. And I also have Tim Holtz's Wildflowers, and these are really perfect to do a watercolor type effect. So I'm going to go ahead and choose one of the flowers to use and place that onto an acrylic block that is close in size. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a watercolor effect onto the watercolor paper. And I'll start off by using the peeled paint, and I'm using the brush tip of the marker. I'm holding the marker nearly sideways. I don't want to run the brush tip directly over, like as in vertical to it. So I'm keeping it at an angle so that I can get some really good coverage. I'm kind of looking at the stamp to see if I've missed any part of the stem before I go on to doing the blossom. So next I've chosen an orange color. I believe this is Spiced Marmalade, and I can go ahead and do the same technique. This is more of a solid surface on these blossom parts, but I'm still keeping the pen at an angle. This will also prevent your pen nib from fraying off, so it preserves your pen nib. So I'm adding just a little bit of that spiced marmalade to the top part of those blossoms, and then I can go in and add a little bit darker color. The next color that I've chosen is Barn Door, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm using that brush tip, and I'm just going back into the areas that are blank and just filling in the rest of these blossoms. So the top of the blossoms will have a little bit lighter color, and then the bottoms will be a little bit darker color. So it only takes a second. What's really fun about this technique is that if the phone rings, you can go get it and just let this set until you're ready to do some spraying. I did notice that I missed a part of that stem right in the center of these blossoms here. And these will mix together once I add the water, but it's really, really beautiful. Okay, so I'm using my mini mister because it's such a fine mist of water and it's the best for this technique. And I'm going to set down a towel just to keep my paper dry. So I'm going to do a couple spritzes of water, and I'm holding this about a foot away from the stamp. So it's getting just a really nice fine mist. The stamp will need to be wet but not dripping with the color mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this right down onto the smooth side of my watercolor paper, and I'm just going to gently tap this on and let that watercolor paper soak in the color. I don't want to press too hard, otherwise it'll press the color right out from under the stamp. So I'm just pressing a little bit with my fingers and just allowing that to soak in as much as it can, and when I'm ready I can go ahead and lift off, and I will have a really, really beautiful watercolor flower. And also wanted to tell you, cleanup is super easy. Just use that same towel that you used a second ago and just wipe that stamp off. So I hope I've given you some great tips and tricks to use for your distress markers onto your stamps. And as always, thanks so much for watching.